Good morning, everyone, and welcome to La Villita. I'm proud to stand here today representing my family's restaurant, Mithira, in the heart of Little Village, where we celebrate our Mexican culture and delicious food. We are honored to welcome our distinguished guests, Governor Pritzker, Representative Gonzalez, DCEO Director Sylvia Garcia, Jaime of the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Yvette Trevino from our local Chamber of Commerce, and many others. Yesterday, we received a notification from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity that Mithira will receive a $150,000 back-to-business grant. For our family, this is a tremendous blessing. Like many businesses in our community, we have faced hard times during the pandemic. My dad, Ezekiel Fuentes, had cut into his personal savings when the pandemic first hit. At times, we barely broke even, but we always felt committed to delivering the food and service our community counts on. This funding from the state of Illinois will allow us to bring back staff and to cover increased costs. Ask any restaurant owner and they can tell you about the skyrocketing cost of food, produce, and other supplies. This extra funding will help with that while ensuring a high quality of service to our customers. We know that not everyone has been as lucky as us. We too applied for earlier grant programs but didn't get them. But with state funds still available, I encourage those businesses to apply for the funds from the Back to Business grant program. This program will make sure our business can keep going and can help yours too. Not only was the application easy to complete, but we were able to receive updates on our status by logging into the portal. On behalf of the Fuentes family, I would like to give our sincere thanks to Governor Pritzker and his administration for providing this service to our business. And thanks to Yvette Trevino and the Little Village Chamber for their unwavering support to our community and for encouraging us to not let this opportunity pass us by. Now I'd like to welcome Governor Pritzker to the podium to say a few words. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Priscilla, and thank you to everyone that's joined us this morning. Being hosted here is an honor. I've been here several times before. This is truly a center of activity in this area, and I know that many people enjoy the food and drink and the friendship that they're able to experience here at this restaurant. And I know that Mithira carries a kind of a legacy, certainly a family legacy in the community that everyone admires. Good food, good jobs also, and something that we look up to as a community leader. So we're very proud to support you as one of the recipients of our Back to Business grant program in 2021. Among our other small businesses receiving support during this recovery are John McIntosh, who will keep payroll going at his dry cleaning business in East St. Louis, Carrie Johnson, owner of Rockford's Stockholm Inn, whose award will help keep the doors open as tourism safely comes back to life, Jennifer Gordon, whose Back to Business grant will power Peoria's vibrant art scene, and so many more businesses across Illinois that will see new doors open to them because of this grant program. To Representative Edgar Gonzalez, who's joined us this morning, thank you very much for your leadership in Springfield. Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Jaime DiPaolo, thank you for your leadership here in the community and across our state. And Yvette Trevino of the Little Village Chamber of Commerce, thank you for joining me. And DCEO Acting Director Sylvia Garcia, you always are a delight to have standing with me and truly celebrating this milestone for Illinois small businesses and entrepreneurs, as you always do. The purpose of government is to deliver for the people that we serve. We take another step forward in that mission today. After the success of last year's business interruption grants, which provided $290 million in relief to over 9,000 small businesses across our state, it was clear that these investments have had a big impact. It will also remain something that's a focus of our administration, that is lifting up small businesses. And it became clear to us during the course of the Business Interruption Grant Program that more entrepreneurs need additional relief to stabilize their businesses, hire staff, and build for the future. To that end, today I'm excited to announce the first $24 million in Back to Business grants, just the beginning of our efforts to distribute over $250 million to small business owners all across our state. The first wave of B2B funds will help over 500 of our state's entrepreneurs rehire staff and cover operating costs without owing a single cent back. The vast majority of these awardees, 80%, applied for but didn't receive business interruption grants last year. With new resources available this year, we're able to provide even wider support. Again, just in this $24 million that's being granted today and that we're announcing today, we are helping to cover those applicants from last year's business interruption grants. It's important to note that over 70% of the grants have gone to applicants in disproportionately impacted communities, and more than half have gone to minority-owned businesses, exceeding the record-setting equity outcomes that we saw with the business interruption grants. Our nation-leading Community Navigator program is helping small businesses access these dollars with over 100 navigators and their partners all across our state, including Allies for Communities Businesses, Little Village Chamber of Commerce, and the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. As a result, DCEO has connected with over 125,000 businesses in hard-to-reach communities with application support, including minority, rural, veteran, and women-owned businesses. We're working hard to ensure that these back-to-business grants go where they're most needed. Using our resources to their greatest potential also means investing in the people, the families, the dreams that power our small business sector. That's why my administration is not only focused on directly funding businesses, but also on resources to keep our workforce and our communities thriving alongside them. In just the past few months, we've launched programs to deliver $40 million in workforce training and youth employment efforts in under-resourced communities, provided 3 months of child care to unemployed parents looking to return to the workforce, giving parents the support they need and alleviating the crunch that many employers are feeling as they try to fill their job openings, and to build on the state's largest ever funding for infrastructure improvements, with a recent $50 million launched to make sure that our main streets and our commercial corridors reflect the vision and vibrancy of our local entrepreneurs. While today marks the first B2B grants that we're awarding, they are certainly not the last. Applications remain open to small businesses across the state. If you're an entrepreneur who has weathered the pandemic and is striving towards a better business future for your employees, for yourselves, for your families, this opportunity is for you. You can apply online at dceo.illinois.gov. With the business interruption grants last year and back to business grants this year, working with the General Assembly, my administration has grown our support for small businesses to help overcome the challenges of this pandemic. All in all, our child care and other small business relief grants will provide over $1.5 billion to child care providers, bars and restaurants, entertainment venues, hotels, beauty salons, laundry services, arts organizations, and so many other hard-hit small businesses across the state. It's an investment that matches the strength of our small business owners, who are the backbone of our economy and who have continued to step up for their communities in the face of uncertainty. And as Illinois rebuilds and recovers, we will continue to step up for our small businesses. They deserve to breathe easier and to dream bigger. It's our mission to deliver the funds and resources that they need to do so. Now I'd like to hand it over to a champion of our small business community, a leader at the helm of some of our most important economic recovery efforts, and that's our DCEO Acting Director, Sylvia Garcia. Director.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you so much for that warm welcome. It's a pleasure and an honor to serve in your administration. Good morning, everyone. As was mentioned, my name is Sylvia Garcia, and I'm the Acting Director of the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, or as we like to call it, DCEO. We're so glad to be here in the Little Village today to announce this first wave of Back to Business grants. Representative Gonzalez and Senator Villanueva and I had been pounding the pavement a few weeks ago, so really excited to be back here again as our team has been crisscrossing the city and the state to get the word out about this program. I want to join the governor in thanking Priscilla and the Fuentes family at Mithira for hosting us here today in Little Village, and we really are excited about your Back to Business grant. I'd also like to thank our partners at Allies for Community Business who are in the room. Once again, you've been an amazing partner helping us deliver recovery programs in a very, very quick time frame and getting dollars to the folks that need them the most. When we launched this program last month, our focus was on putting federal American Rescue Plan money to work for small businesses facing impacts from the pandemic. The B2B program, as the governor mentioned, is a key component of our economic recovery plan, and it really recognizes the crucial role small businesses play in our economy. They're the backbone to our economy, our largest employers in the state, and actually a pathway for economic opportunity for so many Illinoisans. And so it's so critical that as we build back from the pandemic, we build back better and stronger and keep that small business community vibrant. With key improvements to the Back to Business program based on our big business interruption grant program, we've been able to streamline our application process, double down on outreach, and really make a lot of progress so far, which is why we're so excited to be announcing $24 million being awarded to over 520 small businesses in 146 cities across the state so far. To make sure that funding reaches those who need it most, we have teamed up with community groups like Little Village Chamber of Commerce and the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and over 100 other community partners to make sure that we're going door to door, providing one-on-one technical assistance, and really getting the support to anyone who needs it to apply for this program. Community navigators are instrumental to our equity efforts and connecting with the people who need it most, people of color, rural communities, and others that are hard to reach, and making sure this relief goes to those that were hardest hit and those that need the help the most. More boots on the ground are paying off to date, and as was mentioned, DCEO, our Illinois Small Business Development Centers, and our community navigators together have conducted hundreds of events across the state and have done direct outreach to over 125,000 businesses. We're really excited about this program, really excited to get the money out the door, but bottom line is there's still work to be done. We want to make sure that anyone who is eligible for these funds has the opportunity to claim them. The deadline to apply is quickly approaching, October 13th, and we're making awards on a rolling basis. So don't wait, apply now, apply as soon as possible. Here are a few things that you need to know to apply. B2B grants can be used to cover operational expenses like rent, payroll, working capital. And as has been mentioned, these are grants, not loans, so you do not have to pay them back. That's the best part. You don't have to pay them back. What's more, applying is easy. You need 2 copies of bank statements from last year and this year, your taxes from 2018 and 2019, and a business owner ID. With those things in your hand, applying should take less than an hour, and it can all be done on our website, dceo.illinois.gov. You can also find tools for other folks you can reach out to that can assist with that process if you need it. So we're really encouraging people to apply right now. If you've already applied and aren't sure, make sure you're checking your email and checking the portal to see your status. There may be some follow-up questions and other information that we need, so we just want to make sure that everybody's engaging and doing that all over across the board. Because this program is so focused on access, I'm now going to repeat a little bit of that in Spanish. So, buenos días, soy Sylvia Garcia, directora interna del Departamento de Comercio y Oportunidades Económicas. Me da mucho gusto anunciar los primeros $24 millones para pequeños negocios de parte del Departamento del Programa Back to Business. Solo el comienzo de nuestros esfuerzos para distribuir más de $250 millones para negocios pequeños en todo el estado. Si necesita ayuda y si tu negocio tuvo pérdidas en 2020, todavía hay tiempo para aplicar este fondo. La fecha límite para aplicar es el 13 de octubre, pero no espere. Los premios se otorgarán de manera continua. Esto es lo que necesitas saber para aplicar. Las subvenciones B2B pueden utilizar para cubrir los gastos operativos como la nómina y el alquiler. Y la mejor parte es que no son préstamos, así que los fondos no tienen que devolverse. Si todavía hay una cantidad significativa de fondos todavía disponibles para que los dueños de negocios de Illinois reclamen. Además, quiero añadir que la solicitud es fácil. Lo que necesita es 2 estados de cuentas bancarias, la identificación de propietarios de su empresa y las declaraciones de impuestos de 2020 y 2019. Tengo en cuenta que en los negocios con número de ITIN, como se llama, no depende en tu estado de inmigración, es una parte de este programa. Todo es una oportunidad para todos. Con estos documentos en mano, puedes solicitar la subvención de B2B en menos de 1 hora y la aplicación está disponible en 6 idiomas. Aproveche y aplique ya. Muchas gracias, and now it's my honor to turn it over to one of our great partners, Jaime de Pablo from the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Director Garcia. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jaime de Pablo. I'm the President and CEO of the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. It's about 170,000 Latino business owners in the state of Illinois. 80% of those are concentrated in the metro area of Chicago. So it's our job and our duty to support them and give them the necessary technical assistance so they can stay alive and stay open. I'd like to really thank the Familia Fuentes, the owner of this great place. This guy is a real entrepreneur. He owns over 20 restaurants in 4 states. So anything we can do in our technical assistance with the help of the governor and this great the Back to Business grant, we're giving up businesses like this a real opportunity to stay open and stay alive, really. So I represent the Chamber. It's a navigator program, and we work in collaboration with the Little Village Chamber of Commerce. We have a team in Joliet. We work in the Southwest Collective on the southwest side of Chicago. We also work in the city of Waukegan with the Waukegan Development Corporation. We have a partnership and collaboration with the Aurora Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We have a partnership with Logan Square and the Puerto Rican Cultural Council. So what this means, we actually have boots on the ground, knocking on doors and making sure we access and we talk to every business owners we can so they can have access to this great opportunity. So thank you, Governor, for your leadership. This is a wonderful opportunity. I think for the first time, we're actually making a big push to involve all minorities and really apply, because this is an opportunity for you business owners out there. Trust us, money's there. We're going to start giving away money. If you don't apply, you're going to miss out. The deadline is coming close, so please apply. Please apply. And then I'll say it in Spanish too. Mi nombre es Jaime Di Paulo, soy el presidente y director ejecutivo de la Cámara de Comercio Hispana del Estado de Illinois. Estoy aquí para hablarles a todos ustedes, empresarios, dueños de negocios, que por favor tomen esta oportunidad y apliquen por estos fondos que el departamento que el estado de Illinois está ofreciendo para ayudarlos en el apoyo para que puedan seguir subsistiendo. So take an opportunity. Reach out. Mr. Pedro right here, the director of the program, is right here. Reach out at the ihccbusiness.net. If we don't return your call, please call me. I'll make sure we get you return the call. One thing we do is we do return calls or emails. So thank you, Governor, again. And with that, I'd like to introduce my dear friend, my colleague, Yvette Treviño, the wonderful director of the Little Village Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Jaime. Thank you for your partnership and your leadership. Good morning. My name is Yvette Treviño, and I am the Executive Director at the Little Village Chamber of Commerce. The Little Village Chamber of Commerce has been working really hard to make sure that the Latino business community is aware and takes advantage of the Back to Business grant. Small businesses are the lifeline to our communities. The Latino business community in particular has suffered higher rates of COVID-19, higher rates of unemployment, and generally recognized as being critically underserved. The Little Village Chamber of Commerce has taken a grassroots approach in walking the various business corridors, both in the city of Chicago and suburban Cook County, to make sure that everyone is aware of the Back to Business grant and that there are no barriers when it comes to technology and language for the application. The Back to Business grant is intended for businesses like Mithira, who have suffered a loss in the middle of the pandemic when they were forced to close their doors. Convincing Ezequiel Fuentes to apply was a challenge, but as you can see, the grant is very much real, and it will provide pandemic and financial relief for your business. If you're interested in having a one-on-one technical assistance session, please contact our office. We're located right down the street in the heart of Little Village, and we are happy to help you apply for Back to Business, EIDL, and any of your other business needs. Thank you. Ahora en español. Buenos días, mi nombre es Ivette Treviño y soy la directora ejecutiva de la Cámara de Comercio de la Villita. La Cámara de Comercio de la Villita está trabajando para asegurar que nuestros pequeños negocios están al tanto y que aprovechen la subvención Back to Business. Las pequeñas empresas dan vida a nuestras comunidades. La comunidad empresarial latina en particular ha sufrido de niveles de COVID y de desempleo más altas y generalmente se reconoce que estamos críticamente desatendidas. La Cámara de Comercio de la Villita se ha enfocado en visitar las pequeñas empresas en corredores comerciales, tanto en Chicago como en los suburbios de Cook, para asegurarnos que no haya barreras tecnológicas o lingüísticas para intentar de acceder la subvención de Back to Business. La subvención Back to Business es para empresas y negocios como Mithira, que sufrieron pérdidas durante y en medio de la pandemia cuando tuvieron que cerrar sus puertas. Tuvimos que convencer a Ezequiel para que aplicara, pero como ve, la subvención es real y brindará un alivio pandémico y financiero para su negocio. Si están interesados en asistencia técnica, comuníquese con nuestra oficina. Nuestra oficina está aquí en la Villita. Con gusto lo esperamos para ayudarlos con la Back to Business aplicaciones y otros programas que tenemos para pequeños negocios aquí en Chicago y en el suburbio de Cook. Muchísimas gracias. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you to Representative Edgar Gonzalez. The Edgar Gonzalez is not only the youngest state rep in the state of Illinois, but has spent tons of time walking with us to engage with small businesses in the business corridor. From Little Village to Archer Heights to Brighton Park to Summit, Edgar has been at the forefront to make sure that businesses are aware of the program and are getting the technical assistance that they deserve. So without further ado, Edgar, please come up and join us.
Thank you, Yvette. Thank you, everybody, for being here. First of all, I want to thank all of you for choosing Mithira, not just because it's a great spot, but it's only 2 blocks from my house, so I could just walk over here. But in any case, thank you all for being here. I think it's very important for us to highlight the need for Latino businesses to be applying for the Back to Business grants. As many of you have probably heard, Little Village 26th Street is considered the second magnificent mile because we bring the second most tax revenue to Chicago. And a lot of people also say that small businesses are the backbone of America. So I think it's pretty safe to say that Little Village is the backbone of Chicago just because of that. So that being the case, and being the case that I think about only 10% of the grantees for the Back to Business grants are Latino, that means that there's still a lot of work to do, considering that we're 20% of the population across the whole state of Illinois. I think it's very important for us to make sure that we're reaching our small Latino businesses and making sure that they're applying. So in any case, people, it's not that hard. It's your 2019, your 2020 tax returns of bank statements, and you're pretty much good to go. And people from the Little Village Chamber of Commerce and the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, they've been putting in the work and making sure that people are applying, and people have the technical assistance in order to, make sure that applications are going well. So you can rely on them to make sure that, you can get some relief because of the pandemic. Buenos días a todos. Estoy primeramente que todo orgulloso de estar aquí, feliz que escogieron mi tierra porque nomás está a 2 cuadras de mi casa, entonces nomás tuve que caminar para acá. Pero lo que yo creo que es importante, sumamente importante a poder decir, es de como muchos han dicho, de que los negocios pequeños son, haz de cuenta, es el base de los Estados Unidos, pero a la vez también de que aquí en la Villita y más la calle 26 es el lugar donde ha traído el segundo más impuestos en todo la ciudad de Chicago. Es muy fácil para mí poder decir de que la Villita y la 26 es el base de la economía de Chicago. Diciendo eso, el 10% de la gente que van a recibir a estas becas para los negocios son latinos. El 10%, considerando que somos 20% de toda la población del estado de Illinois. Entonces es sumamente importante que la gente aplique. Aquí tienen la Cámara de Comercio de la Villita, tienen la Cámara de Comercio Hispana del estado. Ellos han traído la experiencia y tienen los expertos para poder ayudar a la gente a aplicar. Entonces es muy fácil aplicar, nomás se necesita un estado de banco, los impuestos de 2019 y 2020 y ya, así de facilito. Entonces por favor, gente, aplica, es necesario, hay que asegurar que ese dinero regrese a nuestras comunidades y pues así lo hacemos. Muchas gracias. And now the governor for some Q&A.
Thank you, Representative. Happy to take any questions from members of the media who are madly typing away at their stories already. So.
Well, we don't need to be disrespectful because we know this is a big deal, but we do have to jump ahead and ask your opinion about the Chicago Bears and the possibility of them moving to Arlington Heights. Would the state support that idea?
Well, let me begin by saying I'm a Bears fan, and I know that it would be disappointing for me if Chicago Bears moved outside of the city of Chicago. I know I share that view with many other Chicago Bears fans, but I think this is a private business, the Chicago Bears, as I have said before, and I think that the Bears and the city of Chicago need to work out their differences in order for us to end up with the Bears staying in the city.
Would you intervene and try to sweeten the pot to keep them in?
That's not something that we're looking at.
Why not?
Is there any state funding that you would consider or should consider to help in the new stadium license?
Again, it's not something that we're looking at. As you know, it's very important for us to focus on our fiscal situation in the state, making sure that we're building up the infrastructure of the state and that we're balancing our budget.
Governor, does the Bears approach the state at all on any state subsidy for new stadium?
I'm not aware of any approaches.
Can you speak to the nature of the political climate that's changed in Chicago and the state, fiscally, politically, since the last time this came up in the early 2000s for $432 million in taxpayer subsidies we used to regulate soccer field less than 20 years ago? Doesn't seem to be nearly as much discussion about public money this time. I'm wondering what your analysis of that is and how political climate has changed.
Well, I think it's important for us to be responsible with the resources that we have, and I think we've proven that is one big change. Actually, is that now in 2021, in the last 20 years, we hadn't seen any movement on our credit rating. Now we've moved up. In our credit rating, we've had the first upgrades in more than 20 years. We've balanced our budget for 3 years in a row. We're doing much better as a state from a fiscal perspective, and there's more work that needs to be done. So that's what we're focused on.
Do you think it's inappropriate to use taxpayer funds to subsidize that type of $1 billion stadium?
Look, that's not something that I would decide for a city. I think that cities are going to have to make their own decisions about what they'll do. I can just tell you that at the state level, we're focused on balancing the budget and maintaining our positive course in terms of fiscal balance and getting credit upgrades and having a strong fiscal foundation.
So, yeah, could it be inappropriate for the state to use taxpayer money for
Again, it's not something that we're looking at doing.
That's not enough.
I can just tell you, I have not had any discussions. I haven't been approached by anybody, neither city nor the Bears themselves. So, and it's not something that we're currently looking at. Like I said, we're focused on our own fiscal situation as a state, which is improving, and I want to stay on that trajectory.
You're a businessman. You know what this means to them. To take their whole operation, put it out there, be able to control all the venue around it, to perhaps have a Super Bowl, to perhaps have the NCAA final. Does it not make sense as a businessman?
Look, I'm not involved in sports teams. I've never been involved in sports teams. I think, broadly speaking, I understand why a sports team would want to host a Super Bowl, and I certainly want a Super Bowl for our Chicago Bears. But I can't speak to what it is that they're looking exactly to do, and I can't speak to whether what they want to do can be done in the city of Chicago, and I think that, again, is the city engaging with the Bears to come up with a solution.
Why would you be disappointed if the Bears left Chicago? You said you'd be disappointed. Can you explain why you'd be disappointed?
Because I've been watching them at Soldier Field for an awfully long time, and there's something about having them in the city and nearby that's that's attractive to me and something I care about. It's just if there's a tradition, I think, that we all feel, many of us, about the city of Chicago. Having said that, this is a private enterprise engaging with city governments to decide what's best for them. Take one more. Yeah.
The eviction moratorium is
Yeah.
set to, I believe, on October 4th. What's
Yes.
the status of that?
Yeah. Well, as you know, we've done a tremendous job of getting those resources out, available to renters, rental assistance programs. Literally, hundreds of millions of dollars are available and have been available to renters. Many people have taken us up on that, which is great, and it's helping them to come current with their landlords. We also have worked with the courts to make sure that the courts understand that to the extent that evictions are filed for, the courts also need to provide some leeway for renters, and they will, and they are. They have resources to offer, and they are referring people, they will be referring people who haven't yet applied for rental assistance to go do that so that they won't be evicted, because there are people who just haven't applied yet. So we're working very hard to make sure that that everybody is, gets a satisfactory conclusion. It's also important to note that landlords have gone an awfully long time. Many people own one or two units or houses that they're renting out. They sometimes haven't received rent from people who are struggling that are living there, and that's why we had the eviction moratorium in place, because we didn't want anybody to be thrown out during the middle of the toughest times in the pandemic. Now, because we have rental assistance, that is a huge benefit to our landlords, and I want to make sure that especially our small landlords are able to take advantage of that. Thank you.